a classic way of starting the game. This can lead to many dynamic attacking openings. Starting with a patient move and building a strong defense. Not the most common response to the Caro-Kann, but it develops a piece. Continuing the main idea of the Caro-Kann, black attacks the center with a defended pawn. Knight c3 develops the knight toward the center, defends the e4 pawn, and attacks the d5 pawn. Bishop g4 develops the bishop and pins the knight on f3. h3 attacks the bishop on g4, forcing black to either retreat or exchange the bishop. Bishop takes f3 captures the knight and attacks the queen. Queen takes f3 captures the bishop, develops the queen, and supports the e4 pawn. e6 supports the d5 pawn and allows the dark-squared bishop to develop. g3 prepares to fianchetto the light-squared bishop on g2, where it will sit on the long diagonal. Black develops the knight and attacks the center. This fianchettos the bishop by placing it on a powerful diagonal, developing the bishop and increasing influence in the center. This prepares the bishop for development. Black develops the knight and attacks the center. Castling kingside tends to be safer than queenside because the king is further from the center. Castling to the same side of the board is a more cautious approach. Right on target. This is the strongest option. Very precise. Right on target. This is the strongest option. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This is not the right idea. This is an equal trade. A clear recapture. This allows the knight to control more squares. White activates the last piece, bringing all pieces into play. The knight finds a new active square. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This threatens to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades. This protects the attacked pawn. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This forces the opponent to isolate a pawn. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This avoids clear danger. After a follow-up, this will win a pawn by kicking a defender. Advancing the pawns in front of the king can compromise the king's safety. This allows the opponent to take an open file with a rook. The rook is now on an open file, which helps control squares across the board. This will win a pawn with correct play. This moves the knight to safety. The bishop is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This is an equal trade. A straightforward recapture. The knight is on its way to a better position. This wins time by threatening a queen and forcing it to move away. This will win a knight with correct play. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This is the way to win a knight. This blocks the check from an opposing queen. This wins material. The best option was to counterattack an opposing queen. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is a fair move. This is an equal trade. Very precise. Black had an advantage, but now the game is close to equal. This missed an opportunity to punish a mistake. This permits the opponent to create a passed pawn. This allows the opponent to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. This misses an opportunity to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. A clear recapture. A straightforward recapture. The best option was to centralize a knight so it controls more squares. This permits the opponent to occupy a strong square and attack a rook at the same time. This threatens to win material through a tactic. This moves the rook to safety. This is not the right idea. This threatens to win material through a fork. This prevents the opponent from being able to win material through a fork. This wins time by threatening a rook and forcing it to move away. This move puts the rook on a safer square. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. That's fine. This move puts the knight on a safer square. The best option was to offer an equal trade of pieces. This moves the knight to safety. This activates a rook by getting it to the 7th rank and also restricts the king. This misses a much better move. This misses a better way to evade the check from the opposing knight. This permits the opponent to set up a blockade. This allows the opponent to win material through an eventual fork. This is a nice tactic found in time trouble. This steps away from the checking knight. This is a nice tactic found in time trouble. The better move was to double rooks on a single file. This misses a better way to win material through a tactic. A clear recapture. The better move was to activate the king by getting it off of the back rank. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This permits the opponent to eventually win a pawn. This misses an opportunity to eventually win a pawn. This stops the opponent from being able to force eventual checkmate. This moves the rook to safety. The best option was to activate the king by getting it off of the back rank. A very strong play. This steps away from the checking rook. The better move was to create a pawn chain. This was the only move. This is not the right idea. One of the best moves. A solid choice. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move. A very strong play. Right on target. One of the best moves. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. This threatens to win a rook through a skewer. This permits the opponent to eventually win material. This wins material. This permits the opponent to win material by checking the king away from its defense. This permits the opponent to eventually win a knight. This misses an opportunity to win material by checking the king away from its defense. A solid choice. This blocks an attack on a pawn. This loses material, but the position is still winning. That rook was free for the taking. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. The best option was to create a pawn chain. The better move was to push a passed pawn. White were in trouble, but managed to win on time. That's some serious survival.